karibuni sana. Can see you Florence, Jane, Marilyn, Professor Joyce, Sylvia, Edith, Salome, Monica, Grace, and Mumbi. Mumbi, today you have made it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have all of you. This is Ignite Possibilities with Coach Loice, and I am excited for this new week because this is a week we are creating possibilities. And I am so glad that you are here. Karibuni sana. So let us tell us where you are coming from. You can share with us where are you joining us from. Can say hello from Monica. We can see hello from Sylvia. Great. Where are you joining us? It's just good to connect, to know one another. Where are you joining us? Say hello in the chat. Meanwhile, as we do that, allow me to share my screen. So today is day 2 of Ignite Possibilities with Coach Loice. Last week we started, and today we continue. So last week we talked about the first verse in the Bible, Genesis, in the beginning, and we noted that it was not at the beginning, it was in the beginning, because it was the very start of everything. Even time itself was not there. It was created. There was nothing. There was only God. And we realize that it's only with God that we can ignite possibilities. And the next verse after, in the beginning, God is God created the heavens and earth. God created the heavens and earth. And I want you to note is the heavens. Most of the time when we look up to the sky, we think that is all that we can see. But the heavens are actually heavens. There are so many other things that are above us, what we call the planet Earth. And it's so intriguing because when I was just checking around, the last time in my time when we were in primary school and we were learning about the planets, and we used to have 9 planets then. So the other day I noted with my son, Mom, they are not 9 planets, they are 8 planets. The rest are dwarf planets. And I was like, oh my goodness. You see, at the time when I was in primary school, that's where knowledge had reached. They didn't know that there are other planets that are dwarf. They didn't even know that there are other galaxies. We just thought this is our solar system, this is it. Only to realize that there are so many other galaxies, so many other, they call it the Milky Way, and with billions. Actually, from the research I had, it was 2 billion. 2 billion. How many trillions of stars? And that's only where their knowledge has allowed them to reach. So what are we talking about? The heavens, there's so much possibilities. There's so much potential with that the sky can never be the limit. You know, most of the time we say the sky is the limit, but we come to realize that the sky is never the limit and cannot be the limit. The sky is only the beginning of possibilities. And that's where I want us to begin today, that as we are igniting possibilities, the sky can never be the limit. It is the launching pad. It is your launching pad. So that is the starting point we have today. The sky is not the limit. The sky is the beginning of possibilities. And the sky is where your eyes can take you. That's where the eyes can take you. When you are observing from down here and you look up, you are looking at the sky and you are saying, wow, that is the highest point. And that's what I used to think until I onboarded an aeroplane and realized you can go higher and higher and not even reach the end of it. The more you go, the more you just see the blue up there. It never comes to an end because, as we have said, there are so many other systems out there in the heavens. And that's where I started. God created the heavens. And we have just tried to bring to you that the heavens are vast, they are endless, they are limitless. Every time they are discovering, only not knowing that there is more and more. And they keep on going further and further, only to realize that they have just started. With all the work they have done over the years, this is just the starting point. They have not even done anything. They have not even scratched. Because our God, as we said in day one, is a God of possibilities. He created the heavens and earth. And I'm trying to bring to us that in the beginning, before that, in the beginning, there was God, and God was alone. Then the first verse says, God created. And this is our focus this evening about creation, created the heavens and earth. And I want us to note that these things were in God. They were in Him. But until He created, we were not able to see or to experience. We were not even there in the first place. So God had to create. And that is my starting point this evening. That is my point this evening. So I hope you have noted that. Creation, the heavens and the earth. And we have talked about the limitless, endless events that we have. And these were God's possibilities. So that is my starting point. Then, sky is not the limit. That's what you are able to see from where you are. But the more you go, just like I've said when I was board on an aeroplane, the more we went higher, the higher and higher and higher. The more we could see, still there's more space for us to go. So there's no limit. The sky is not the limit. So this brings us to point number 2 or number 3, that creation is what brings the invisible to visible. I hope now you are getting that point, that it is creation that brings the invisible to visible. So that now when God created, then all that was within Him now came to life. Whatever was in His possibilities now was manifested. It was able to be seen. And we'll continue as we move on. So the third point is creation is what brings invisible to visible. And as we are having this discussion, I want us now to start reflecting, what is it that is invisible, that we are holding like God held, that we have not manifested? We have not brought it to be visible. We now start thinking about the invisible that is within us and our capabilities now to bring that invisible to visible. Let me acknowledge those who have joined us. Wow, I can see several people. Kaziri, I had not seen you. Jean, Virginia, Rose, Salome, Sabina, welcome, welcome. Let's continue with this. Edith says she's joining us from Naivasha, amazing. Joyce says she's joining us from Machakos, very, very good. Florence from Kerugoya, I remember you from last time also. Marilyn from Eldoret, amazing, amazing. Let's having this conversation. Beautiful. So allow me to continue again. Oh my goodness, all right. Okay, so this is where we are. So creation is what brings invisible to visible. And now we start pondering. Because remember, we are igniting possibilities. Just like God brought about the possibilities he had, he created. That is, and we're going step by step. In the beginning was God, you know? And we said, with God, all things are possible. And we say it is everything, all. So we can actually ignite all our possibilities. But how do we ignite those possibilities? By creation. We must be willing to create them. So creation brings the invisible to visible. And suddenly, as you become, you start realizing, wow, this was not there last year, but now I have brought it now. It is in this year. Last year, it was invisible. I was not a reader. I never read any books. I didn't even know any language about books. I used to wonder when people say they are reading books. But now I have brought it to the visible. I am now a member of the I Am Leading Book Club, and I am reading. I am actually an ignited reader. You see, you have created that, brought that potential that was within you. It was invisible, but now you have created it to be visible. That's what we are talking about this evening. Creation brings invisible to visible. I remember some time after I got my last born baby, his name is Benjamin. Benjamin was invisible. Those who know me know that I talked about Benjamin 10 years before he was born. And when I was expectant, anyone I met was like, Loice, you mean now you want to bring Benjamin? And without even knowing what sex of a baby I was carrying, I was like, yes, Benjamin is coming. I created Benjamin. How did I create Benjamin? That's what we are going to answer in day 3. But today, you can see I actually created Benjamin to life. He was invisible. When I wanted Benjamin, he was not there. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You give up. You say it's not possible. 4 years. Oh my goodness. I forgot about having this Benjamin. And I went and even now did other things. I went to do my master's degree. I went to do many other things because Benjamin was not coming. Kumbe Benjamin was still invisible. And I had to continue creating Benjamin until Benjamin became visible. Today, Benjamin is 9 years old. And I always tell him that you are a boy, a son of promise. You know, Benjamin is the son of my right hand. So after God gave me and blessed me with 2 ladies, 2 adults now, God remembered me 9 years ago. And we were able to co-create with God to bring the invisible to visible. I hope we are moving on. So let me engage you. I love engaging my audience. Yes. So let me start with Monica. Monica, I miss you so much. I really miss you. I hope you are coming for the luncheon so that I can see you again. So Monica, I hope you are able to speak. Can you say hello to us? Are you able? Monica? Okay, maybe she's not able to speak. Who else is here? You know Mumbi, I'll call you, isn't it? Hi, Mumbi.
Coach.
Yes.
Hi, Coach.
I have also missed you. How have you been?
I've been well. I'm on holiday.
Beautiful. That's amazing.
Yes.
Yes. So,
Yes.
Mumbi, I
Yes.
hope you listened to day 1 because you missed it.
Coach, I'll be lying. I tried to listen today, then I got distracted.
Okay. But I hope you'll be able to have time to listen to that. But so
Yes, I
far,
will.
in this conversation, what's coming up for you?
What is coming up for me and has been a reality since I joined BWC and the various courses I have done is the power of possessing and claiming what it is that you want and believing it, no matter how long it takes, just being consistent, it becomes a reality. That is what is coming out for me. Yes, it becomes a reality. And also understanding what is God is everything. He's the Alpha, he's the Omega. Understanding what he has, what is your purpose in God's ordination? What is it? And just being still and listening, then you're able to co-create with God because you're within him. Yes, that is what is coming out.
Wow.
And from experience, yes, yes.
Yes, that's super amazing. Thank you so much. Yes, so you've talked about the process of creation. I'll come to each day 3. So let's focus on this. Thank you so much, Mumbi, for sharing. And thank you, Monica, for affirming that you are coming for the luncheon and that you're in a noisy place. So if then God brought his possibilities by creation, then even you, the possibilities that we are trying to ignite, you can create them. You can create them. And I want us, as we continue with this conversation, to start thinking about those possibilities that we want. What are these possibilities we are talking about? What are these possibilities we are talking about we want to ignite? And to all of us, they are different. They cannot be the same because we are different chapters in our lives. We are in different seasons in our lives. And your possibilities, what can be for you, are also different. But this is point number 4, that possibilities are created. And let this sink, that you will not just ignite. Igniting means creating. So you must be in this space where you're going to create the possibilities that you want to have in your life. You're going to create them. So possibilities are created. So the first thing in your mind then is, what are my possibilities? What do I want? What do I want to ignite? Then now you start the process of creating. But this is the point I want you to know, that it will not just happen. You must create it. The same way God, in the beginning, God created heavens and earth. He brought the invisible to the visible. So even for you, you must create the possibilities. Nothing will just happen by you seated down there and waiting. Remember we talked about being co-creators. You must co-create with God because God is a creator. Is the very beginning. Mumbi has told us is the Alpha and Omega. There's none other than him. It all begins and ends with him. So for you to ignite possibilities, you must co-create these possibilities with him. So if it is about creation, then your mind takes you, where do I start? How will I do it? How will I come to an end? How will I know that I have come to the end? And this brings now me to this lesson again, number 5, about the principle of potential. Because we've seen the heavens and the earth were all in God. So it was all dormant within God until he created. When he created, then it became visible. So that is the principle of potential. And I would like to ask us now, as I engage you, let me see who is in the house. We have Jemima. Jemima is usually very, very good at answering questions. So Jemima, what comes into your mind when we talk about potential? Jemima Lemaketo. Are you able to speak? I'm not sure.
Coach Loice, I'm in a place I can't answer, but I'm listening. I'm following through. Thanks.
Okay, share it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
Okay, once I'm done.
Yes. Who is able to speak and tell us what they understand by potential? It's usually nice to engage, even if it's through the chat. Be present by engaging. What do you understand by potential? Yes, Virginia?
The untapped power within.
Oh my goodness, that is so amazing. The untapped. I love that word, that phrase that you've used to describe it. Untapped power. Beautiful. Someone else? Amazing.
Hi, Coach Loice.
Hi, Mary.
Potential is unutilized capacity.
Unutilized capacity. Beautiful. I like that. Untapped, unutilized. All this is within us. Like we have seen, this was dormant within God until He manifested it. So the same way, I love the words untapped. It is so beautiful because it's unutilized, that we have this power within us, we have this capacity within us that we have not yet done. That there are things that we ought to have done and we have not yet done. They're still lying dormant within us. And just like I told you, the way my story with the aeroplane, as I went higher, the sky was still blue. It never became black. It was still blue. So the potential, that power, that capacity was still there to create. What is it in for you? What is it that you have been letting to lie dormant within you that you have not unleashed, that you have not manifested? The principle of potential, unutilized, untapped, dormant capacity that is just lying within us, waiting to be tapped, waiting to be ignited, waiting to be unleashed. That is the principle of potential. And this brings to mind a story. In Ukambani, where I come from, we rarely have trees. What we have, like where I come from, Titawande, you'll find there are these mabuyu trees. They're usually very big. That's all the only trees you kind of come across. The rest are shrubs, acacia, and such. But there is this particular home where this person has planted trees, and it's a whole forest of trees. And one day, this man said, these trees have become so old, they have given me shade for a very, very long time, very, very long time. I don't think I need them. So he called on the workers and told them, come, let's cut down these trees. And they cut, and they cut, and they cut. And as they cut, there was somebody who was passing by. And this person happened to be, Kambas are carpenters, happened to be a carpenter. And he saw these trees being cut. And he asked, why are you cutting these trees? Why are you cutting these trees? I can make very good furniture out of these trees. And the person, the owner said, no, nothing can come out of this. You can't see, they're even old. They are worn out, they're tattered. There's nothing good that can come out of this. But the carpenter insisted and said, you bring it to me. Instead of burning it as firewood, using it as firewood, bring it on. I know what I can do with it. And of course, the person went ahead and bought the furniture. Actually, it was just given for free. Take this. It was meant to be for the dustbin, for the firewood. Just take. And he went. And he was very happy because when he came to his place, he was able to create out of that those old wood that the person was calling old and bad and eaten by the termites, that nothing can come out of this. He said, this is it. This is what I am going to create my magnificent furniture from. And that's what he did. So one day, after several months, this owner of this home was passing by and he came and saw this beautiful, magnificent seat. You know, you can imagine those ones which are made like for the king or for the queen, and the detail of the wood and everything. And as he saw it, he said, I want this seat. These are the kind of seats I want in my home. And the young man remembered, isn't this the owner of the home where I bought that wood from, where I got it from? And he reminded him, do you have a home someplace? Did you have trees that you one day cut them down and they were not looking good and you are throwing them into the firewood? Then I came by and you gave to me. He said, yes, I remember. Oh, I remember. Yes, were you the young man who passed by that place? And he said, yes, I am. And guess what? Look at this furniture. It was created from that old, tattered tree that you are calling useless. But within that tree, those logs of wood that you had cut down, there was potential. There was potential. And that's why I have created this magnificent seat. I created it from those old woods. Amazing. That is the power of potential. And utilized. It's not that the furniture would not be created from the tree. It's just because the perception of the owner of the home did not think that those logs of trees would actually produce anything worthwhile. But the potential was there, but it required someone somewhere to create. Those who are joining us, we are talking about creation, that possibilities must be created. Possibilities must be created. They don't just happen. Possibilities are created. And I hope you are getting that point, the way it burnt within me, that possibilities will not just happen. They must be created. You must mold them. And that's where we talk about the principle of excellence. How well are you creating those possibilities? Are you going the extra mile in creating those possibilities? They talk about people who wait for things to happen. Are you that person, or are you the person who makes things happen? Think about it in your career. Think about it in your family. Think about it in your marriage, especially. Do you wait for your spouse, for your partner? Do you just wait, or you make things happen? Do you co-create with your partner? Do you co-create with your children? How is your parenting? How are you creating the possibilities in your parenting? How are you doing it in your wellness, in your health, in your mental health? How are you doing it? Are you creating possibilities there? When you hear there is a webinar about mental health, do you subscribe? Or you wait for things to happen? I'll just have mental health from nowhere. No, you must create it. Possibilities are created. I've talked about with several young women And all that they talk about is how they have not succeeded in their careers. And they're still talking about this, the way it's unfair, the workplace and everything. But now I want to pose the question for you. Yes, the workplace may not give you that equity, the equity, principle there. It may not be there. But what are you doing about it? Are you a creator? Are you creating possibilities for yourself? How are you doing it? How are you doing it? The principle of potential. Because sometimes we crowd ourselves with so many things that we don't let this principle work within us. Because potential is already within us. We already have the power. We already have that capabilities. We already have the capacity. But we must come to the space where we are creating. And as you can see that beautiful white flower there, many times we see the beautiful things in the world. We actually see them, the beautiful things in the world, and we think they just happened. But now we realize, no, even God himself created. So the process of creation is very important. So let's talk about the creation of this beautiful flower that we can see. And this is now what brings me to this other conversation, that in every seed is a tree. That seed that was planted here in this soil, the farmer just planted one seed. But within that seed is a whole tree. Maybe it's a mango tree. That's what we plant in Ukambani. Mango trees, you plant one mango seed, you put it in the soil, and what comes out of that seed is a tree. And what comes out of that tree is many flowers, like we have seen, or many fruits. So within this one seed is a forest. It's a forest because it's many trees. And that is the principle of potential. When you plant one seed, it produces for you a forest. It is the principle of multiplication. And that is the same principle we find in Genesis chapter 1. That every seed shall produce after its own kind. So if you plant the seed of eating healthy food, you get a whole forest of health. If you plant self-care may be just resting, taking time to rest, away from the babies, away from the husband, away from the family, chores and everything, away from work, then you have a whole forest of possibilities that you have created because you have planted that seed of self-care for yourself. So start thinking about what seeds that you can create to produce that forest of possibilities, because in every seed that you plant is a tree. In every tree, you'll either get flowers, you'll get several leaves, branches, extending everywhere. And your boundaries expanding, possibilities happening every day because you created by planting that seed. So the question then is, what seeds are you planting? And is that seed, is it viable when you plant it? Can it grow? Because there are bad seeds that will not grow. You also look at the environment that you are nurturing that seed in, because the seed can be very good. But if the environment where you are nurturing the seed is negative, then you will not get that forest of possibilities. Remember, we are igniting possibilities. So where are you planting your seed? Have you done the process? Creation is a process, it's not a one thing off. As you read Genesis chapter 1, you realize that God had the potential to do everything at once. Let there be man, let there be sun in one day. He never did that. It is a process. It is step by step, one day at a time. So it's not about microwaving possibilities. No, it is a process. Just like you don't just get a baby the moment that seed is conceived, but it takes time, 9 months along the way to create this baby. Creation is a process. And you must go through this process of creation for you to ignite possibilities. Let's hear from someone else. Am I speaking to myself or I'm hearing something? Professor Joyce, are you in the house? Joyce?
Yes, Coach. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yes. What are you getting out of this conversation?
Many things are going through my mind, Coach. Just
Mhm.
beginning with what we speak, the possibilities, where we are creating the possibilities. And then like the principle of potential. I was looking at it like a volcanic mountain.
Wow.
Where there is a lot of heat and even or even like a pressure cooker.
Mhm.
You have a lot of potential in it. And once it is open, then it can do many things.
Yes.
It can do destructive things. It can do good things. So depending on how you utilize that energy that you have, that untapped capacity, then you are
Yes.
going to have impact, positive or negative impact. So I'm just realizing that it depends on how we look, the outlook of our, or the perception that we have on things and even situations. Even if a situation is bad, sometimes depending on your attitude, you're able to reorganize it and make it beneficial to you. So I'm looking at this and you know, even the flower, for example, the beautiful things in life, you know, they are not there. It is somebody who has put energy, somebody who has added value, somebody who has worked to create. So what I'm also getting is that for us to be able to unleash that potential, to be ignited, you need to also work on yourself. You work on, you know, your environment for you to be able to make things really go the way you want to for them to go. So I'm really looking at even like the creation, the process of creation. It did not take one day. They say Rome was not built in one day. You know,
Exactly.
you have to really work on it and work on it. And this brings me even to our book club and the 5 a.m. club. You know, you don't read the results if you just do it one day, but you know, you do it for, you know, a week, months, and after
Yes.
3-4 months, then you start realizing the impact or you start seeing the fruits. So this is really amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Thank you. I can't believe I'm looking at my watch and it's already 7:15. I have 15 minutes to go. Okay, now I start the hiring process. But I hope we are getting it. Creation is a process. Even Joyce has demonstrated that. That is so good. Thank you for that. So I think this is where I was now. So you are responsible for that potential God has stored within you. Nobody will do it for you. You have to do it yourself. You are the creator now. You have the power. You don't delegate your power to someone else and start saying, Sirikal. No, you don't delegate your power. You don't delegate it. That untapped power is within you, and it's only you to put yourself in an environment that is going to nurture it, so that now you can bring out that sparkle that is within you. So you are responsible for the potential stored within you. And just like in the Bible, we read about the story of the talents. One day God will ask you, what have you done? I put all this, I packaged all this within you. What have you done about it? What have you done about it? So you are responsible. God created the heavens and the earth. We have everything for us to nurture our potential. So, but that responsibility is yours. So how are you going to nurture? Because creation is a process. It will not just happen. You must go through that process. You must nurture that seed to bring out those fruits, to bring out the forest that you want. Beautiful. I talked about this story about the wood and the chair, and this time you can see it's a beautiful, beautiful bird that was trapped within these ugly logs. It was a beautiful bird that was trapped within these ugly logs. And many times we come as these logs that were unwanted. You can remember my story about that man in our village. The logs that are unwanted, that are just to be thrown in the bin. And many times that's all that we can see. That is the perception that we have. Remember, I talked about when I was going up and higher in the aeroplane. And there before, I just thought this is the sky. Above the clouds is like, you have reached it. It's the end of it. Then you realize you go higher and you see the clouds down the way you see the blue sky. That's the same way you see the clouds down there. So there's so much that covers us, the clouds that cover us. And sometimes it may come in as your traumas, the traumas you've gone through life, and they cover your potential. Maybe it is that guilt, things that you did, you knew that these are not supposed to be done, and you did it, and you are there guilty. And this guilt comes in as a mother, you know, as a mother, as a wife. It comes in that you have neglected your children, you've neglected your home, and you are burning with shame. You are feeling such a failure. You tried this business, doesn't work out, and it crowds. You can't see ahead. There are clouds up above you. That guilt, that trauma, that shame, that feeling that you have been a failure. I mean, I've tried this not once, I've tried twice, I've tried 3 times. I have tried and tried, and nothing seems to be coming out of this. Really? Is there anything that can come out from me? That's the questions that go through our minds. And sometimes it's not that the questions come like that. They may be in the subconscious mind, that every time you try something and you fail, there is a trigger. I failed last time. Now you see, now you start labeling yourself. I am useless. I am worthless. No wonder even people are treating me this way. I don't seem to have anything. I am poor. I never made it to school. I wanted to do that PhD. I've never done. And you start attaching your success to things instead of creating the success that you want. You start labeling yourself as ugly, as fat, as unlucky, as foolish. Remember, nobody says this, but by the way you do your things, it is the belief system within yourself, in your subconscious, that tells you you're ugly. And because you can never tell yourself I'm ugly, but when you are called upon to go and speak, maybe in a webinar like this, and you start over reasoning, overthinking. Oh, what can they say? Is my hair good? Oh, my face, maybe I need this lipstick, maybe I need this. You know, there's something in your subconscious that is telling you you are not good enough. And you are just trying to validate yourself. You go and buy things that you don't even need because you are trying to validate yourself because of that lack. You're trying to compensate with other things. So nobody ever calls themselves foolish, unlucky, or anything, but the outcome is what determines what is in your thoughts. Sometimes you label yourself, you are a failure. There's no hope. I'm hopeless. Where I have reached, I keep on losing. And today I want to ask you, are you looking at this, the old logs of wood? Is that all that you can see? Or you're going to flip and start recognizing and acknowledging the potential that is within you. That within you is a magnificent queen waiting to be unleashed. A queen that wears her crown with confidence. What can you see? Are you seeing the dirty logs? Or are you seeing that beautiful carving of a beautiful bird that was trapped within these logs? Wow. Let me hear from someone. Someone who will speak to me. Let's see someone who wants to unleash.
Hello, Coach.
Yes.
Hello.
Mercy.
Thank you so much. I am
Yes.
so I'm excited by I'm being ignited, and I'm very excited. First of all, about the seed, it's very beautiful because you've used something that's in my field, botany. So I really love plants. Yes, so you see, when you see a seed being planted, you're not supposed to go there and check every day. Has it grown? Has it grown? Do you have any stalks coming? Do you have, the shoot coming up? Do you have the roots going down? You have to trust the process and be patient.
Wow.
And I also really resonate with, I remember one of the books that you are reading, I think it's the second one, changed thinking, changed you have a changed life, where the author was talking about Michelangelo, and then he had this very this old piece of marble that had been thrown, but he came and made a very beautiful sculpture that the whole of Rome were like, wow, how did you come up with this? So sometimes we might not see what we really have, but it takes time, it takes work, and eventually we'll get there. So I really resonate with this personally. As I join the professional world, there's so many things I'm like, am I really good at this? But I see I need to plant the seeds of consistency. I need to plant the seeds of specialized knowledge, positive thinking, affirming against what my subconscious, that's so powerful. It's true. I've gone through this where I'm like, no, how can I fit in that room? I don't even know what I'm going to say. But I am now seeing the seeds that I need to work on and change how I see and say, I'm a queen that wears her crown with confidence. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mercy. Abna, thank you so much. Great. Let me hear from someone else. Always good to hear. Brenda, she's here. It's long since I heard from you. How are you? Brenda, are you able to speak? Maybe not. Okay. Beautiful. You can also utilize it. Kindly utilize it so that we can engage. We are coming to the end of this conversation. So as Matty has told us, it is time to unleash that fire. It is time to let out all that potential that is trapped within us, because within us is that magnificent seat, is that forest of possibilities. But unless we create it, unless we manifest it, unless we unleash it, it will always be within us. And I think in day 3, we're going to talk about that. So as I come to the end of this presentation, let's talk about the 5 whys, and these are the W's that we can identify here. And these are questions that will help us now to start this process of creation, The first question is, who am I? And that is a powerful question to ask yourself. Who exactly are you? Who do you identify yourself as? And I love what one of us here says, I'm a daughter of God. You know, very powerful. How do you identify yourself? I'm a child of God. Beautiful. Beautiful. Who are you? Why are you around? Why? Why do you exist? You know, many times we ask companies and organizations, and they talk about, we exist to do this. What about you? Why do you exist? Why are you here? What is it that you want to accomplish? What do you want? Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? What are the possibilities? What can I explore? What can I do? Where can I begin? When can I begin? Which gifts, which strengths do I have that God has already packaged within me? What is my potential? The moment we start asking ourselves this, then we start the process of creation. Remember, possibilities are created, and that potential is trapped within you, waiting to be unleashed. So I think this is even my last slide. What possibilities then can you create? So start thinking, and this is your assignment, that you go down and start now thinking about the possibilities that you can create. Those who have been with me longer, you know your will of life. Just go every area, take time to do this, every area of your life. Just write 5 possibilities, or even just 3. Let's start with 3 in every area of your life, and commit that by December 31st, these are the areas I'm going to ignite. I'm going to shine. I'm going to set on fire. These are the 3 areas in these areas of my life that I'm going to work on. And I know if we do that, then we can ignite possibilities. Beautiful. So as I had said earlier, Mercy says I'm a daughter of the King. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So as I had said earlier, this show is a precursor to the launch of my book, Ignite, Unleash Your Inner Fire. And that book has been forwarded by Professor Joyce, who is one of us here. And I'm so happy to launch it on 7th September 2024. So these conversations are to help us to start igniting these possibilities. And Kadziri, how did I forget you? You must say something as we close, so prepare. She says, my possibilities are ignited. Yes, you must set them on fire. You must blaze them up. Yes. Lucy says, I'm a child of the Most High. Yes, fully packed to impact. Lucy, I hope to see you in the luncheon too. Create that possibility that you will be there, because possibilities are created. Yes, so I was saying on 7th September, I am launching that book by the grace of God. And I am so excited because this year has been my year to launch 2 books. The first book I launched on February, She Leads, Volume 4. Now I am launching another book, 7th September. Talk about possibilities. Talk about setting your life on fire. And I think I have done that. Just the other day, as I was just going through my notes, you know, as I told you before, I didn't know what to speak. I had not come out with anything. I just told myself, it will come. So as I was looking through my notes, one of the books I think was in 206. And in the book, the title I wrote, 06, I wrote Loice Muteti. I said, of course, that time I was calling myself a motivational speaker. But what caught my eyes was author. And this is how many years? That was super, super amazing. I just saw it last night. I even sat down to look at it. 206, I called myself an author. I am manifesting it in 2024. Beautiful. Wow. I looked back, I said, even when I was writing, I was thinking, you know, the way you're just visualizing and visioning and telling yourself, this is what I want. That is when I was just beginning all this thing. I called myself a life coach, Loice Muteti, motivational speaker, life coach, author. And as I reflected back, I realized that is the time I came up and I registered my business name, Blue Waters Coaching, that time 06. And look at that process of creation and the masterpiece that we have created together, because we have been in this together. Yes, Joyce says, I am anointed and highly favored of God. Yes, beautiful. Time to unleash the fire, Virginia. This is it. This is it. This is it. So today we've talked, thanks Mercy for the compliment. So today we've day 2. First of all, we said without God, we can't ignite possibilities. We must co-create with him, and with God, all things are possible. Then today we brought in this other aspect that God created, the heavens, limitless, endless possibilities are already created. There's no end to it. It's us now to start seeing ourselves in the eyes of those possibilities. That possibilities must be created. That there is the principle of potential, that we can ignite our potential. Like a seed we can bring forth. That is the principle of potentiality, is the principle of multiplication, that you start multiplying your impact. You step out, you step up, you stand out. You can only stand out when you have multiplied your impact, multiplied your sales, Mary, multiplied your career, Mumbi. That is how to do it. That impact to the society, that impact everywhere. So that brings us to the end. Ignite possibilities with Coach Loice. I hope to see you in day 3 next Tuesday, God willing. And with those few words, thank you very much. Have a good evening.